And there he is.
Look, I know that they don't like us doing this, but like, I'm just posting it out.
No one said
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just
you're allowed
post
to
it out.
post.
It's the biggest game of the season. I need you to say how big a game this is, Lawrence McKenna.
Big
game. Big game.
This is a big game.
Got all the lads. Got a Liverpool fan in. Proper Liverpool fan and everything.
And Alan Tobin. It's great to see you, Alan.
This game is bigger than Jose Mourinho's ego.
Yeah. Look who else is thrilled to be here.
We've got someone.
It's the animated corpse of Adam McCullough.
It was a long drive.
This is a lose-lose for you today. But
I was told we were watching a rerun of Newcastle United.
we can talk about it a little bit, but maybe later and in very short.
We'll have loads of time.
Yeah.
Probably not. Probably don't want to talk about it. Apparently, I don't mind it when Newcastle lose to everyone, unless it's Man United, and then apparently I get people made this comment. I just thought, fuck it. I hate everyone equally. I thought I'd made that clear.
What you got abuse on?
On Twitter. Right. Yeah, because I tweeted schoolboy error, and I tweeted after losing the game. Of course, I'm a bad loser.
Yeah.
If we had a quality, maybe we could have.
Didn't help when we tweeted that I was in a social play yesterday. That is what a real football. That was the word I took. That's where the real James, good to see you as well.
He's got next door. He's got a quiz. He's a new man.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah.
10 eyes in this one. It's that
I mean, we can go through them. It's big. I think he's deflating.
I was 20 stone when I started that. You see what I did there?
Just
it is big.
Heavy up.
It is.
Yeah. I think there are no bigger games this season unless, obviously...
I think we've established it's the biggest game of the season.
It's genuinely big, not only because of...
Large.
Can you stop saying big?
Ban on big for 10 minutes.
Ban on big.
Can we go to large?
It's genuinely...
XL.
It's genuinely...
It's huge.
It's sizable.
It's a massive game.
It's genuinely so sizable because last season, Liverpool and Man City played each other a number of times.
This is why we can't get 50-year-olds to watch us. They're all watching the old twats.
Well, that's because 50-year-olds are sitting home with a thesaurus going, well, they could have said monumental, but they don't. So last season, Liverpool played City, Champions League, knocked them out, got to the Champions League final. They played City and it was quite conclusive in both the legs as to who was doing well and who wasn't. This season, these two teams seem much more even, at least when they're not playing each other than maybe when they are. But even then, 0-0 earlier this season, a very different game. We'll talk about that in just a second. But the starting lineups today, Adam, just before we get into this, are you City or Liverpool today?
Can Ladbrokes price both teams score both teams to lose?
Both teams got both teams to lose.
Not possible.
Oh yeah, okay. No, you could. Okay, so you mean two separate?
We had to explain betting a lot to Vood. He doesn't actually understand betting odds. But one thing we can categorically say is that's not possible.
Yeah.
And before you start, if you need fractions or if you need decimal points, they're both on the app.
Yeah.
I want City to win.
Right.
That makes sense.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Simple.
Well, in that case,
So much easier.
how much confidence does this starting lineup give you, Edison?
I haven't watched football for about 6 years. So
Well, obviously, honestly, that
you'll have
shows
to
on
fill me
full-time
on
Devils.
who those are. No, I'm kidding.
These are attacking players.
I'm glad to see Fernandinho in the mix.
Good.
It's become like
Very apparent.
everyone kind of mentions it as like it's a secret, but it's obviously quite evident that without him, they're a different team. I think Fernandinho being in there is great. Your man at left back as well, Mendy.
Mendy's not in there.
Is he not?
No, Laporte's in there.
He was earlier, wasn't he?
So we'll look at that. That's the game earlier in the season. But that's a great point, Adam, and a great link because he's not playing in this game.
Yeah.
And he's injured. And Salah, I think Salah's got a massive.
He was
You're the one dragging it back now. So
let it go.
I want City to win.
No, we can't. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, Ladbrokes have just informed me. There's if I fancy a fast, it's on my Apple Watch, as Ladbrokes do, so the app. Take 11 to 4 for a goal in the first 30 minutes, plus 3.5 goals and a goal in each half. That's pretty good, actually.
Speaking of Ladbrokes, if you want to bet with Ladbrokes, you can click the link in the description below right now. Bet with Brian. Bet £5, get £20 free.
Yeah, honestly, that happens all the time on my watch, but I never thought it would happen live in a show.
Someone's just tweeted me, I've got a blister on my heel bigger than Newcastle's transfer budget. Thanks for that. It's sad but true.
You've got a £2 million blister on your heel.
It's massive.
That's incredible.
Whip it off and sell it.
Alisson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Lovren, Van Dijk, Robertson. Pretty conventional backline for Liverpool, bar Lovren there. Henderson starts in midfield. Wijnaldum, Milner, a very functional midfield, you'd say. And then Firmino drops deep to help them deal with the threat of Fernandinho in there. And then obviously Mane and Salah. It looks a lot more like that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think Chris Paget from the Red Man TV was talking about right back.
That was a very quick drop in.
Chris Paget from the Red Man TV. Go on.
Said his name very. I'm excited.
Tasmanian fucking devil.
I'm saying, woo! He was saying that.
Get it out. Oh, you can't. It's small. Okay, yeah.
He was saying that Alexander-Arnold was playing the last game.
Yeah.
They were saying that he might not play in this one. They might put Klein in for this one because Alexander-Arnold was just coming back.
Yeah.
He was talking nonsense. I shouldn't have even dropped his name in the conversation.
That's nonsense.
Yes. In midfield, I think that's where it was up for grabs a little bit. Fabinho played the last game, played really well.
He was great.
I think
we can see
when it comes to the big games, Klopp likes these are the three trusts.
How is Henderson keeping Fabinho and Keita out of the team?
It's purely,
that is amazing.
It's purely the functionality and the way that he wants that midfield to play.
You're shaking your head right now.
He's purely gone horses for courses. Like for the last,
what does that mean?
The last couple of years, he's played this midfield three, so they understand how this City team works. Like Fabinho has never played against City, so he's probably never come up against anything like that. You see what happened to him when they threw him in against Arsenal at the Emirates. He looked like a cow in a field of sheep.
All the animals tonight. I think the other thing is, in terms of the press and the way that Man City play, they want to get it through the lines. What?
Sorry, there's a fly in the studio and Adam just reacted to it rather aggressively.
There is a fly every show.
It's a different
He was
fly.
trying to get in my
little fucking brother that won last week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm thinking though, lads?
What are you thinking? You're sitting there thinking.
I'm sitting there thinking. Don't be sitting there watching Gillette Soccer Saturday just without the diamond earrings. I'm sitting there thinking. This to me is who you fucking trust as a manager. Who you're going to send in when you need a fucking win guaranteed, and you're betting your life on it almost at that point. And what I think is interesting is, from a City point of view, he's never fully trusted Aguero for me. He's given him a few games, he's taken him out. He prefers the fact that Jesus will come in and do the dirty work and drop back or whatever. But he's gone for it, yeah. He's thinking, right, I need fucking someone who's going to get the goals. I'm putting my money on Aguero. And vice versa, the story in the Liverpool team is that midfield is a workman-like midfield and not as creative as what Liverpool are capable of putting out. For me, Fabinho has been really good this season. I've been really impressed with him. He controls the game, and I think there's a hint, not completely, but a hint of Klopp bottling it about that and gone a little bit more like don't lose rather than let's go and beat them.
They've got that benefit that even if they lose,
I'm not saying it's a bad plan.
It's frustrating. I'm just watching this here, looking at that team that Liverpool have.
You're sitting there thinking.
It's frustrating. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm not going to try and do the accent, but I'm thinking like Milner, Henderson. I'm not going to try and do the accent, but I'm thinking.
You fucking prick. I've got water everywhere.
Yeah.
When you said, but I'm thinking.
Trent, Lovren, Robertson, Wijnaldum, Henderson, Milner.
Just saying names.
But look at those players on paper.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be anywhere near City or even 7 points clear of them.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just thinking, if Mourinho had those players, he would have jumped out the Lowry penthouse.
You guys.
I'm off, sorry.
Manchester United fans put everything through a Mourinho lens recently.
It's just really frustrating.
In terms of names, in terms of.
No, I see what you're doing though. It's because
I see what you're thinking.
For a lot of years, you've been watching football where it's been based on Mourinho saying I haven't got the big names, and then you look at what Klopp's doing. I mean, what do you think, Alan, as a Liverpool fan? Do you think that that's a fair point or not?
No, not at all. Like, look at Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think he's been absolutely phenomenal over the last 18 months. Andrew Robertson, to me, is probably the best left back in the league at the moment. You can disagree if you want. Maybe Luke Shaw if he lost about 6 stone. Gini Wijnaldum for me has probably been our player of the year. In terms of numbers, they're probably not great when it comes to goals and assists, but he protects the ball so well.
And he has magical moments. There are little moments where you go, wow,
he understands the system so well.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually praising.
I get what you're saying.
Here's what I think.
Those players are not that great.
Yeah, because look, it's about spin, isn't it? Because you can go, Alexander-Arnold, he's a 20-year-old kid. Lovren, he's made how many mistakes? Van Dijk, you got him from Southampton. Robertson, you got him from Hull. Milner's a journeyman, you could say. Henderson just works hard. Wijnaldum couldn't make it at Newcastle, he got relegated. So that's what he's saying.
Mo Salah, failure at Roma. Bobby Firmino from the Bundesliga. Mane, Southampton.
No, but the point is, what Adam's saying is that he has developed all of those players into a team that is likely to win the title.
And they've made them so confident in themselves and their ability.
Adam's saying is that
They're going out there and smashing teams.
I think it's also, though, that actually, when we talk about this midfield, the midfield is made to not get the best out of Henderson, Wijnaldum and Milner, but it's made to get the best out of Salah, Firmino and Mane. So it allows those guys to go and do their hunting because they know immediately behind us we have guys who know exactly where they need to be. We have guys who aren't going to try and bring the ball forward, and we know exactly where the ball's going to go when they have it because we know to get into this position, this position. So these guys are well drilled. They've played with these guys for the longest. So you can also look at all those substitutes and think, well, actually, when City are, say, 65, 60 minutes and they see Liverpool's rhythm, that rhythm's there, bring Fabinho on at that point, bring Keita on, or, best of all, bring Shaqiri on. Shaqiri's been so disruptive in the last few games, and people, I know it sounds ridiculous, I already feel closer to Shaqiri as a player than I ever felt to Coutinho the whole time he was at Liverpool.
Agreed.
Okay.
I know what you mean. I think it's funny that the way you worded it, like as if you're in a relationship.
Yeah, but it's because.
But that's what Jurgen Klopp has brought to Liverpool. You kind of, I've never felt closer as such to the group of players than I do at the moment.
Do you know what? Look on his face. Do you remember the animated film of Scrooge at Christmas? You know, like Jim Carrey's character. You are in a way, yeah.
I don't feel close to any Newcastle players, really.
Really?
Lascelles? Like him?
I like Lascelles, but it's just a lost cause, isn't it?
He could have been sent off yesterday.
Yeah, he's a bit annoying, isn't he?
Mate, at the end of the day, you won.
But I feel close to people like Bobby Firmino. Bobby Firmino is someone you look at him and you go, oh God, I love that player. As a Liverpool fan,
I know
because you're 7 points clear in the league.
But I felt that way even when Liverpool were 4th in the league or 5th in the league or 6th in the league. I still looked at him and thought that's fantastic. And I feel the same about Mane. I have such sentimentality about Mane.
Can we have a look at the City defence real quick, lads?
Yeah, of course. Can I just say one thing about this lineup though before we start? Is there's a Salah price boost on today for Ladbrokes.
I have such sentimentality about
Mohamed Salah was. Oh, sorry. So it's Mohamed Salah to score and Liverpool to win. It was 10-3. It's now 4-1.
If you're going to do that, though, you've got to do it.
Link in the description. Go and take a look at that.
I'm just thinking, Firmino, Salah, Mane. Vincent Kompany coming in against those. I mean, he's an experienced defender, but his legs cannot possibly be in peak physical condition, as you would say, Lawrence McKenna.
I don't think I've ever said that phrase, but
you say it repeatedly, and if you want a reference for that, Logan Paul versus KSI says it about 10 times on that one.
That's a good one, but then that's in a boxing frame of reference.
Changing the goalposts.
Yeah,
sport.
I agree. I also think that company's been brought in because Liverpool have been very dominant and very good at getting the most out of not only corners but also the fallout from corners. So Liverpool will rearrange very quickly after corners, and you'll see Van Dijk up there. You'll see people breaking the lines. Company will be great.
Agreed. He is a good organiser, but am I right in thinking that he doesn't play week in, week out Kompany?
You are right in thinking.
And if you're just bringing someone in against the most on-form attacking three, arguably in world football, and just being like, all right, mate, there you go. I mean, I'm not saying Pep will have looked at him in training and been confident in doing that, but it's a dangerous move.
How many Liverpool players get into City's team?
Can we park this combined 11 shit? It's wrecking my head. Sorry, but in terms of it's wrecking my head.
You've said it once in the show.
I mean just on Twitter in general. Like everyone is on about this combined 11, and it was the same when City played United.
But it's spicy.
Lawrence, on the show schedule, can you scratch out combined 11?
That's actually a 40-minute
we said on the running order. Is that all right?
Yeah.
We put a lot of time into that.
So just to be clear, Alan, you wouldn't say that Alisson, Van Dijk, Roberto Roberto Firmino, Mohamed Salah, and Mane
Don't do
will
this
make it
to
into a
him.
combined 11.
They all get in there.
Okay.
But
Robertson.
I think in terms of defence, I think Pep's hand has been forced a little bit because Delph was sent off last week. Kyle Walker has been woeful this season. He doesn't have many more options there. He's not going to put Zinchenko at left back.
Yeah, because he's struggled lately, hasn't he?
What?
I'm
James is
trying to how it's
bring up the touch screen. Bring it up. That's what James is doing right now.
What did it look like I was doing?
It looks very confusing. Yeah.
Touching you.
No, but it...
Touching
You know when you space out of football?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I know what you mean, but I also think if there's any manager in world football, if there's any manager anywhere who can organise a team, it's Pep to go, right, you need to be able to do this. He's got functional players, he has players who he can move
Or Sam
around.
Allardyce.
I mean, that's a great point, but Sam Allardyce doesn't turn
I think that the big point for me is Salah and his movement. And the thing with that is, because you've not got Benjamin Mendy, who played so well in that game.
this sort of thing, doesn't he?
So, yeah, and everyone says he's playing as a centre forward now, but he actually starts when they haven't got the ball. He goes out wide, but then he starts here and then looks to make those runs in behind.
It really does depend on.
Can you show the people at home, Lawrence, what you did there? Because they missed that amazing movement.
So if Benson Company's there, then Mo Salah's sort of here. What he'll do is he'll do that. He'll go, Mo Salah, goal! But that's because Firmino was there, but then he's there.
Can I just say, I'd like people at home to know we pay a lot of money for the ability for Lawrence to do that.
Yeah,
so
just that's the ball.
Get value.
Mo Salah's feet, and then wait.
Show him the spin. Show him the spin.
Goal!
Unbelievable scenes.
Yeah.
There at the kickoff. I mean, who needs actual match footage?
I can do the commentary.
Oh yeah.
You can do the
goal bit.
Danger, Mo Salah.
Who needs Sky Sports?
Yeah, I think they're worried about Mo Salah, and Mendy's not there to play. So actually, they're almost playing like three centre backs. Laporte is the best defender they can put at left back. Zinchenko's not. So,
Yeah, that's true.
And he's played there the last 3 times Liverpool have faced City.
I think it's interesting. Danilo's come in for Kyle Walker. He's made a few mistakes recently, but that's a big call.
I think Danilo is a really overlooked player in terms of Man City.
Yeah.
I think just because he's seen as a backup player at City, if he was
a lot of money.
he'd be a regular starter for Juventus for me. He'd be a regular starter even for the likes of Real Madrid.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think that. So and they did this actually in the first game. I think we've got it here, hopefully.
It's that one.
Yeah.
So this was the 0-0 between
Sorry,
City
I think
and
I've got the average positions actually.
It's the one below, mate.
It is. So you'll see it, but it was kind of on the other side of it. Kyle Walker was the one who stayed back, number 2, and Mendy got on that tiny bit more. But if you remember that game, it was 50-50 in possession. There wasn't many chances. I think we did it on the kickoff. It was a really boring game. But they wanted to be careful because normally, yeah, great show, but boring game. Because normally they dominate games and they're not worried about the opposition. So both fullbacks will be moving up. But I think in this game with Laporte, and I think, like they did earlier in the season, Guardiola is going to be careful. And I think that also feeds into what Liverpool have done with their midfield.
And let's look at that.
They're worried about each other.
City sat really deep in that game and basically stopped Liverpool's 3 from getting in behind.
They sat Bernardo Silva right next to Fernandinho, which is I've never seen that done before.
Yeah. Look at this though, because it was the same midfield that they started between those two sides. So it's Henderson, Wijnaldum and Milner. Milner was the furthest forward of all those midfielders. And he was almost a false 9 looking like position in that.
And that's what they want to do without the ball. They want Milner, Wijnaldum and Henderson. They can all press.
Yeah.
Normally Fabinho actually kind of sits a bit. Shaqiri, when he played in the last game, he'll stay. He'll be the other side of whichever side the other two shift across to. So for Man City, they want to get the ball into Silva's feet, that left channel, Bernardo Silva's feet on the other channel. I think that's why they've played these 3, because they are worried about it. And look, Liverpool go away with a draw, they're happy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree. It was an interesting game though last time, and I'm sort of excited to see what they do again this time, both sides.
I can see it being very similar to what happened in the second leg of the Champions League final or quarterfinals last year, where
just absolute mayhem.
I think Pep has to go for this. I think it's going to be very similar, where he's going to go gung ho for the first half an hour, 45 minutes.
Class.
And if they don't score, then you'll see what Pep is actually made. I know he's probably the best manager of all time, but recently under pressure, he has cracked. Pep.
Calm down, man.
All right.
Sir Alex Ferguson's best mate.
Come on, man.
He's up there.
I can't let that slide.
He's up there.
He's not.
He's top 3.
No.
Pep's won a lot.
Where's
not
Pep?
top.
Who's your top 3?
Is he top 10?
top 3 at the moment.
Yeah.
Currently active.
Tweet in and let us know.
He's not top 3 of all
on
time,
hashtag
I don't think. I need a minute to think about that, but Alex Ferguson occupies 2 of those top 3 places.
I was reading that Klopp's got an amazing record against Guardiola. I think won more against Guardiola than any other manager. Now, Guardiola in those Bayern Munich games, when it was Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, he played 3 times and lost twice to Klopp. In both those games, Bayern Munich went at him, like attacked him full force. In the other games, they won 3-0. Guardiola actually he played with the fullbacks defending a lot deeper, and basically shut up shop for the first half. And it was in the second half when the opposition, who are quite gung-ho, kind of got frustrated that they actually picked them off and won the game 3-0. I think it was a cup final.
When you look at the Liverpool team...
I wonder if he'll do the same here.
I've got it 7 times.
Coming back to what we're saying about legacy and where you rank and all this sort of shit, to me, Pep Guardiola, he's a great manager, but he's always had an embarrassment.
I think he's a great coach.
No, he's had an embarrassment of riches everywhere he's been. He had one of the greatest squads ever at Barcelona. Then he takes over the current European champions in Bayern, and then he comes to the money pit that is Manchester City. He hasn't had it hard, but he's done really well with what he's had. But now he's getting like really challenged here, and we're going to fucking find out what he's made of in this game, in my opinion, because there's no Lionel Messi and there's a very good squad. They still win this game. And like, we probably agree, well, I don't know if you would agree, Alan, but I would say for squad, Man City have got the better talent in their squad.
I'd agree.
And probably should win this game, but...
They have the more desirable players. They have players that I imagine a lot of other teams look at and go, I'd take Aguero, I'd take Stane, I'd take Sterling, in fact, everyone in that starting 11. I think Barcelona or Juve would look and go.
I think in terms of,
but who'd be in a combined 11?
It's almost irrelevant.
I think in terms of individuals, you have to say Man City are head and shoulders above Liverpool. But as a collective unit, I think
But
Liverpool
that is where Klopp is the X factor, because actually, if you look at Mohamed Salah under a Mourinho, then Mourinho hated him, didn't like him, questioned his mentality. If you look at Mohamed Salah, even possibly under a Pochettino or under anyone else, any of the other top managers, you question where he goes. It was even referenced by Unai Emery before the last game. He said, we looked at him at PSG and we questioned whether he was good enough to make that step up to the very top level. Sometimes you find a place where you feel at home, and you fit in and you become a great player. That's the worry. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer even said it for United. He always felt at home at United. And when they sold him to Spurs, he said, I don't want to go because I feel at home here. This is where I want to play my football. And you do wonder, would Solskjaer have been a completely different, if we'd have seen him in a completely different light, if he'd have gone to Spurs and been mediocre because he wasn't quite at the place he wanted to be. And I think that's what it says about Liverpool. I mean, Wijnaldum could go, I can see him in a Sevilla side, best somewhere else in Europe. Henderson could still be playing for Sunderland. Milner, you'd imagine he'd be a squad player at best. There's so many of these other things.
Milner's a player that totally fits
City,
that way of playing, though. That's a big thing with Milner. And the recruitment from Liverpool has been unbelievable.
I think the coaching's been even better, though.
That's what I'm saying. So you could go as far as to say, and I know that this could be ripped apart if you went in detail with it, but here is out. Liverpool, you could argue, there's some really good players in there, but maybe have a first team 11 rating of about 8 out of 10, maybe 8.5 out of 10 in terms of talent. And then maybe Man City, maybe 9, 9.5, maybe 10 out of 10.
I don't think Liverpool are close.
But like Liverpool, when you bring all these together, there's something special about this team. If they fuck it today, though, if Man City get within sight of them, you can imagine that pressure just really takes.
It's not over. I think a lot. Even if Liverpool win today, it's not over.
No,
I disagree.
I think it's very much in Liverpool's favour, and it's
10
more
points,
likely that they're going to win it than not win it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's 10 points is like a couple of weeks ago. City were.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree though, but I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's over, but 10 points for a team that had made it to January without losing a single fucking Premier League game and look unstoppable.
Massive,
It would feel like if they don't win it now, I'll be shocked.
The interesting side of Liverpool is, and I think a lot of people aren't considering at the moment, Klopp's very private about the mentality within the camp. I think he really shields his players very well. He was a lightning rod for Liverpool at the beginning of the season when they were very poor. We don't know how he treated the PSG situation when Liverpool were very poor against them. We don't know how he treated losing at Red Star Belgrade. I wonder whether those are galvanising experiences for the players. We go, look, we've already lost this season. So if we lose in the Premier League, we've already lost. We know what that feeling feels like. So losing in the Premier League is no different. It's probably less weighted than losing in the Champions League this season. we are the team who come back, is what Klopp will be saying, from impossible situations. The team that save it from the jaws of death. So even if City do win today, Klopp has got a way to change that as a manager, because Klopp is one of the best managers at going, no, it's not like that. It's actually fine.
Yeah.
And all the players go, well, it must be. This is great.
But I think that's portrayed onto both the players, and it's portrayed onto the fans as well, because at Anfield on whatever day it was, Saturday, Sunday, when we went 1-0 down, in previous times when we've gone 1-0 down, it's just a collective, here we go again. But 10 seconds in, there was a massive roar. There was a sense of calmness going.
I have to say, okay. Not many managers I can remember in the Premier League ever. There's managers who win a lot of games, but crowd management is almost becoming a whole new skill in managing a club. And like Sir Bobby might have had it. There was a few. Maybe Alex Ferguson had it. But like, not many managers I can remember who can do that like Klopp can at Liverpool and just keep people.
It's just a perfect fit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, especially coming from Dortmund to Liverpool.
But I think fans react because because of the way Liverpool play, they go for it.
Yeah.
It's easier for fans to get behind that. And it's like with Oli at the moment. If Oli loses a game next week or against Spurs, it's fine. It's like we know he's trying to do. He's trying to do the right thing. It's when you're playing. Sorry, I'm going back again.
The players are walking out now at.
I feel the same in Newcastle right now, though. Like, it's almost like even if we win, I know it's still going to be boring anyway. I'll have that moment of the goal going in, and then I'll have the moment at the end of the game where it's we won a game. But really, most of it in between is going to feel pretty painful. Like, you know what I mean?
I agree.
Whereas if you're trying and you're losing, I don't know this. I don't know. As a football fan, I'd kind of... Obviously, there's a limit to what you can accept because you don't want to fucking get relegated. And as a Newcastle fan, that's a real possibility. But not enough managers have got the balls to go for it because you don't get enough time as a manager. So it's let's not get beaten first. But I wish more managers would just go for it.
They're walking out now at the Etihad and they're going through the Liverpool lineups and the Man City lineups. So we're just going to remind you one last time. If you want to bet along with Brian... and you can bet on this. Salah to score, and Liverpool win was 10-3. It's now 4-1. Well worth a bet there. Link is in the description.
Fuck me, that is pretty good. Like,
bet £5, get £20 for free in bets.
Some of that.
We've been through both the lineups. One thing I've been really interested in this season, no one's really spoken about it. I think these have been two of the best goalkeeper signings in quite a few seasons. Since De Gea, we've really lacked a statement signing in terms of goalkeepers. These two have both been statement goalkeepers. And I know that both of them made mistakes at times. But actually, two Brazilian goalkeepers at either end of the pitch. If you told me 10 years ago in the Premier League, the best goalkeepers would be Brazilian in the Premier League in a decade.
Not the best.
People would have... Who are?
De Gea's still the best.
He's one of the best.
I personally think De Gea is the best goalkeeper in the world. He hasn't had his greatest season as this year. But
not in terms of form, he isn't.
No, but I think he's just generally the best keeper in the world.
If you're going on quality
He's got to show that quality though. Do you know what I mean?
He's not been great. He's not been great this season, but his standards are so high that even an 80% David De Gea is still pretty fucking
I think as well in Spain they really doubt him. We've said this before on the show. They doubt him because they don't see him as good as Casillas. They don't think he's making a legacy.
Absolute wet wipes then, because what's wrong with De Gea? Look at the goalkeepers at the moment. I'm happy for them to do that because it just keeps him in Manchester longer. The more the Spanish press and the Spanish media and Spanish fans don't like him, happy days.
I wonder whether people hate him a little bit to go. Well, if he hasn't made his legacy in Spain, he should come back, mate.
Yeah.
If everyone could like the stream, who's watching, that would be great. Thanks. Also, just going through the vote right now on Instagram, we're looking at Manchester City to win the game, 39%. Liverpool 61% currently. From 34,000 votes. And,
that's more than X Factor gets.
For Simon Cowell, suck it. We've got for the best player.
Second time we said that today.
Yeah.
We've got the kickoff for key player of the game. De Bruyne versus Firmino. De Bruyne is on 52%. Firmino 48%. So that's pretty close right now. Let's see who takes the game.
We're about to kick off. A lot of people are now tweeting in who they think are the three best managers of all time. Someone says Pep, Fergie, Arsene Wenger. We'll debate this throughout the show. Siri can go with full screen. But
here we go.
At home,
football.
You guys can sync up with us with this big game.
Big game.
Yeah, sizable game.
Sizable.
I've got to admit that the last few seasons...
Colossal.
Yeah, colossal. That's a good one.
Well done. Yeah, send in your other...
It's not colossal.
Give us words for big.
Yeah.
On the hashtag, the kick-off. Yeah. I'd love an early goal, lads. I'd fucking love that.
Oh, Trent was ready to go there. Right hand side.
Yeah, getting stuck in.
Just going back to the goalkeeper chat there, Lawrence, you're on about. Sorry.
Joe Lumley's the best.
Yeah.
Just in terms of what City and Liverpool have, like in years gone, I was so sick of De Gea showing up to Anfield every year, and saving them points.
Especially when Statman Dave's sitting next to you going,
Yeah.
it's the best defensive performance. Best defensive performance.
You know,
ever.
Statman Dave once said to me after we got knocked out against Sevilla, and I was complaining about Fellaini playing. Well, he had 2 shots on target. No one else did.
Numbers.
How many shots do you have off target?
Numbers.
Yeah. To be fair, I was at that game. That was an absolutely rancid game for
That's where, by the way,
kick,
Jose's P45 started getting typed up.
Alisson, look, what does that make him now? He had a bad kick there. That makes him third now.
What are you saying, Alan, about goalkeeper chat?
goalkeeper chat.
Yeah, it's just I was so sick of De Gea showing up and saving United points year after year after year when we haven't had a decent goalkeeper since probably first or second season Pepe Reina. So we had Loris Karius or Simon Mignolet in goal, and they just dropped.
Mignolet was that shite, even I was annoyed.
Yeah.
So I don't support them, but it's even pissing me off at this point.
That's enough now, Simon.
Yeah.
I'm just like, we've got a big 6'4" handsome fella who can actually catch the ball and kick the ball straight, which is brilliant.
Brian's ears are burning.
Brian can actually kick the ball straight. I've seen it.
NFL, I did it. Wonderful.
Brian, it worries me sometimes. NFL will see you and go, we could pay that guy 3 or 4 million a year just to kick it between the posts.
If they watch XO does NFL video, which they obviously haven't yet, but if they do, I'm a shoe-in.
Well, they did because they approved the content and made sure there was not enough swearing in it.
All right.
Not enough.
Not enough.
I was magnificent.
Step out.
Is there anywhere we can come on more?
I've never taken anything quite as quickly before in my life.
Yeah, I mean, you did Snapchat it in a way. So to speak. City are putting the pressure on early, and Liverpool look a little bit jumpy out there.
That's what my hair is going to look like if Liverpool win the league.
Aguero's between haircuts.
It will be mad that if Liverpool win the league before Man United do after the Fergie retirement, that's a real shitter.
City looks so up for this, don't they? They really want to...
Well, it's a knife to their throat job, though, isn't it, really? They've got no choice in the matter.
Come on, Leroy.
There you go, Alisson. Get on the ball.
What position did Liverpool finish when Fergie left?
Ooh, I don't know.
Can we...
Second, isn't it? Second once, but...
Like his last season.
Brendan Rodgers last season.
No, it was Van Persie. When was that? 2013.
It must have been about 5th or 6th, man. They couldn't have been top.
Yeah, I think
Did they squeeze into the Champions League?
it was 6 because because we didn't have Champions League in 13 and 14. So it would have been.
Yeah, because I remember when I did my Alex Ferguson should retire now video because they're never winning the league again. That's looking a stroke of genius every year. I remember watching it back about a year later thinking, never win it again. Fuck me, I was a bit...
Again.
I was a bit strong there, wasn't I?
Don't worry, I once said, sang, we'll win the Football League again this time with David Moyes.
Wow. That really is it.
Nah, we all have a drink. Do you know what I mean? We've all been there.
Yeah.
But the thing is...
I remember buying
I'm thinking...
Do you mean EFL?
I'm really hopeful that if Man United could just not win the league for a few more years, for that video to get its 10-year anniversary, to just re-upload it and be like, and this is what I said 10 years ago. Enjoy.
And where's Moyes now?
Unbelievable.
How many years are you on now?
And I don't about how long's 30?
6?
5.
5.
David about 6.
So on the video, I say
It's still a chance.
At the end of the day,
5 years, 6 months.
So you're saying there's still a chance?
I think on the video afterwards, when Moyes gets appointed, I go, at the end of the day, look, I predicted this would happen. What you kind of do is expect Moyes to win it in the first season. You've got to give him time. You've got to give him time. Fuck me. I'm like a fucking clairvoyant. Honestly, give us your palms, lads.
There's still time on Moyes' contract, isn't there?
Oh my days.
Oh!
Yeah, it ends this
Shit, this is flying around.
Big tack.
Absolutely.
Can you explain why is Anthony Taylor reffing this?
Fernandinho with a forearm
Quality
smash.
ref, mate.
I think it's
From Manchester.
Come on, mate.
Who's City got on the bench, lads?
Let's take a look. We'll see about that. So they got Walker, Gundogan, De Bruyne, Mahrez, Otamendi, Gabriel Jesus.
De Bruyne, Mahrez. So why is De Bruyne not playing?
Not fit.
So he played in the Leicester game.
Let's see what happens.
Pretty poor.
Oh, that's just silly there. I think.
Robertson,
So
he's been hit harder
Robertson's
than that in his life.
He's not fully fit, De Bruyne, because to me, De Bruyne is the first name on the team sheet.
Obviously, he's been injured for a lot of the season. Played in the Leicester City defeat. I'm not sure if he played in the Southampton game.
He came off against Leicester.
Yeah.
So they're thinking not up the match fitness then.
Guess
That's
not,
what they'd say, yeah.
No magic trip to Barcelona.
No, not this time.
Interesting. I think it's interesting that he's. Is it Sterling, Sané, and Aguero up front?
Correct.
Yeah, it is. Sané on the left, Sterling on the right, Aguero through the middle.
But that would be my combined 11. Funnily enough.
You actually have
He's really trying to.
I'm just getting a big
Alan's a big guy. I don't know if I could get over there in time.
I don't know if I want to get over in time. You know what I mean? Oh no, Alan, stop! Give him a minute.
Lawrence is in the background like, go on.
Come on, Alan. Hey, I'm
Loving
Andy.
it.
I'm Andy.
I'm judging.
Especially after one more of these.
Yeah.
You've got what coffee?
Special coffee.
So, reaction to a lot of people now getting very angry. You seem to have brought an army of Manchester
Triggered.
fans with you,
He knows what
Nicola.
he's doing.
Come on,
Very good.
He says Sir Alex Ferguson and Matt Busby are better managers than Pep.
I don't like to discuss things that happened before I was even, before my dad was even born. Even.
Right,
I
yeah.
just don't
And your
like
dad
to-
wasn't born there.
So stop talking about Liverpool winning the league.
Can I ask someone to switch the heating off? It's getting really hot here, and it's January.
I think you've been the pressure.
It's just over there, but I can't. Busy doing a football show, innit?
Yeah.
Oh, Ginny Wijnaldum with the skills.
And then
Someone gets sent off in this game.
Turns. Come on, lads.
Like, Liverpool currently playing like XO did it.
I'm going to be honest here. I want Liverpool to win because
You like us?
I prefer the fact that they've got a bit of history about them. You know what I mean?
And they haven't bought the
expect
Premier
to build a
League.
history.
No offense, City fans.
well done.
Do you know what I mean?
I did like, bro.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, it's one of them.
Of everything.
Two central defenders. Van Dijk to score a header. Was 11-2. It's now 7-1. Don't click the link in the description. Bet with Brian. Bet 5. Get £20 for free in bets.
Basically, if you want to know how to switch the heating off, there's a light on the wall, and if the light goes off, then it means the heating's off.
Elliot Hackney there, sneaking in.
Still vlogging.
Come on, you bloody shite potters.
Vlogging was
Loves
doing the
it.
radio. Yeah.
He's in here.
Liverpool on the
in here.
counter-attack. Looking for that Bobby Firmino run.
Oh, that's a big, good overlap there.
Overlap from Trent. Alexander-Arnold with the cross in.
Oh! Almost a goal there. Fernandinho.
Fernandinho coming
See you
in.
later.
clock.
Thanks, Elliot.
Elliot Hackney, everyone.
Elliot goes downstairs.
Just
New
cushioned
GI.
it. Just cushioned it there. Lovely little.
They'll get a lot of joy down that right-hand side because Salah comes in and comes a bit more narrow, and then Alexander-Arnold bombs down the right.
Although I'm definitely questioning whether Liverpool, I think one of Liverpool's substitutions in this game almost has to be.
Moreno.
No. Moreno, I think, has played his last game for the club. I do wonder.
Especially after his comments midweek.
Hey, don't say that.
What was his comment? Can we just? What was his comments midweek?
There were negative comments saying he wasn't getting enough game time. You cost us a Europa
Top
League
of the
final.
league, mate.
Yeah.
Top of the
Sit
league.
down.
Yeah.
Cost us a Europa League final, buddy.
So will you sit down? Will you please sit down?
Moreno. Are you serious?
You do expect a player to say that, though, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
Every boxer thinks they're the best in the world. Every
You
player.
say it indoors. You don't say it to the world.
They're all punch drunk, though, aren't they? Well, you know, you've interviewed enough by now.
you saw Jeff Shoes being escorted away from the side of a boxing
Jeff.
ring once.
Really?
Allegedly.
Get your ticket out.
Do you know what really annoyed me the other when Dylan White won his fight and Anthony Joshua gets up?
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua is supposed to be allowed into the ring so they can have this moment. The security guards are going,
Always like that.
Right.
Always like that.
Brian's had
we
that.
dealt with them at the Sky, in KSI Logan fight, and I'm like, it's the world champion, man. We're trying to promote a fucking fight. Let the cunt in the ring.
It's like you see Rudy at Old Trafford getting searched.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
Rooney just
ничуть не бывало. Он играет на позиции левого защитника. А Серж Орье как раз-таки на правой бровке располагается. Вот уже поддерживает наступление своей команды Кайл Уокер-Питерс. В относительно недавнем матче с Борнмутом он вышел в стартовом составе и отличился целым букетом голевых передач. 3 хит-трик из голевых передач сделал Кайл Уокер-Питерс. Ну а сегодня он играет на не совсем привычной позиции слева. Вот он снова с мячом. Сон, как всегда, на левой бровке. И уходит буквально-таки в лицевую линию Кайл Уокер-Питерс и обостряет ситуацию. Уже на 2-й минуте Тоттенхэм зарабатывает первый угловой. Что нечего терять абсолютно. Tranmere Rovers. Неплохой будет заработок в любом случае для клуба благодаря телевизионной трансляции на всю Англию, ну, естественно, и на международный уровень тоже. Tranmere прошел 2 соперников в первом-втором раунде Кубка. И причем это все нужно было делать через переигровки. То есть с большим трудом вообще, в принципе, до этой стадии розыгрыша добрался Tranmere Rovers. Заброшен так мяч без особых изысков на защитные порядки Транмера. И здесь отбивается Марк Эллис, один из тройки центральных защитников. Бен Дэвис сегодня с Давинсоном Санчесом играет в центре поля. Но он тоже, конечно, все-таки крайний защитник, левша. Слева на бровке ему, конечно, куда привычнее, но бывали случаи, что и здесь, в центре обороны, использовал его Маурисио Почеттино. Он использует, конечно, ротацию, я имею в виду аргентинского специалиста, выставляя, в частности, вот и своего соотечественника Фойта на позицию сегодня крайнего игрока обороны. Ну и еще один аргентинец Пауло Гасанига в воротах. Он играл во всех 3 матчах Кубка Английской лиги, где Тоттенхэму совсем скоро играть первый полуфинальный матч против Челси. Ну и вот сегодня Гасанига открывает кубковую кампанию Тоттенхэма нынешнего сезона. Артем Шмельков вместе с вами смотрит за этим поединком. Ну и хозяева терпеливо действуют в отборе, присматриваются к звездному сопернику. Здесь очень хорошо сыграл Джек Кэпрайс, 14 номер. Но у него сегодня будет тяжелая миссия. Нужно будет сдерживать Сон Хэн Мина, который, очевидно, находится в очень неплохой форме. Конора Дженнингса нам показывает, одного из 2 нападающих команды хозяев. Ну а лучшим бомбардиром и главной звездой сейчас является, несомненно, Джеймс Норвуд. Он назабивал много мячей в прошлом сезоне в национальной лиге, когда из 5-го дивизиона команда поднималась в нынешний свой 4-й, в Лигу 2. Вновь обретя вот этот статус команды футбольной лиги. Известно, это объединение 4 высших дивизионов. И Tranmere, который не выпадал из этой обоймы, между прочим, больше 90 лет, потерял вот этот статус весной 2015 года. Команда, которая в 90-е годы очень даже претендовала на попадание в премьер-лигу, как сейчас это, может быть, и не странно, и недалеко от реалий звучит. Не удается передача Лукасу Моури. Ну а здесь в опорной зоне Оливер Скип, 18-летний парень, воспитанник клуба. Совсем недавно, в середине декабря, он впервые вышел в стартовом составе в матче премьер-лиги. До этого дебютировал в матче, в основном составе Тоттенхэма дебютировал, выйдя на замену в матче Кубка Лиги против Вест Хэма. Оливер Скип, 52-й номер, играет сегодня, ну, в общем-то, на позиции тоже еще совсем молодого воспитанника, но уже привычного для болельщиков в стартовом составе Харри Уинкса. Но и на скамейке и Харри Кейн, и Кристиан Эриксон, и Тоби Альдервейрельд, Муса Сисоко. Ну, есть там и молодые ребята из молодежной команды, которых привлек сегодня к основной обойме Почеттино. Льоренте. Для Фернандо Льоренте тоже сегодня, конечно, шанс поиграть. И вот момент для Сона. И кореец... Ну вот... Как тут расценить? Сам не лучшим образом действовал или геройствовал вратарь Скотт Дэвис? Как бы то ни было. Момент упущен. И очень хороший шанс для корейца после проникающей передачи, после борьбы, которую изначально навязал Фернандо Льоренте. Спешит Лукас Моура здесь отдавать передачу на Льоренте. Ну а Дэвис, желая и... Да, вот так. Все получилось благодаря навязанной борьбе Фернандо Льоренте Стиву Макналти. Тот самый капитан, легко узнаваемый, широкоформатный защитник Tranmere Rovers. Сон Хэн Мин набирается игровой практики по полной программе перед отъездом на Кубок Азии. Загружает его Маурисио Почеттино максимально. Да, Стив Макналти, ему тоже нужно прийти в себя. Явно он совершенно обрезался, футбольному говоря, в этом эпизоде. Просто подставил своих партнеров по обороне и вратаря под вот этот, по сути дела, выход 1 на 1 корейца Сона. Дэвис. А вот его однофамилец Бен Дэвис выиграл верховую борьбу. Центральной линии поля снова Бен Дэвис с мячом и по флангу на Льоренте. Если возвращаться к дежурным абсолютно словам Почеттино, важности матча, об уважении к сопернику, необходимости держать себя в тонусе, это все верно. Тоттенхэму есть что вспомнить. Прошлый сезон хотя бы, когда через две команды низших дивизионов в 4-м и в 5-м раунде Кубка Англии Тоттенхэм проходил только после переигровок. Сначала с Ньюпортом, командой 4-го дивизиона, затем Рочдейлом из 3-й английской лиги. Лиг One, 3-й английский дивизион, да. И, например, с Ньюпортом в гостевом матче вообще Харри Кейн забил в самом конце матча, уберег свою команду от поражения, но потом, правда, на Уэмбли и с Ньюпортом, и с Рочдейлом разбиралась команда Почеттино. В итоге добралась до полуфинала. Но, конечно, ни о каком пренебрежении возможностями, статусом соперника не должно быть. В идеале не должно быть речи. Должны демонстрировать все свое превосходство футболиста такого уровня команды, как Тоттенхэм. 3-е место в премьер-лиге. 6 очков отставания от Ливерпуля, лидирующего в 2 очках от Манчестер Сити, который вчера как раз нанес первое поражение в сезоне лидеру. И сегодня немедленное переключение на кубковые реалии. Большинство матчей в субботу, потом в воскресенье еще порядочно матчей, и в понедельник вывеска Вулверхэмптон Ливерпуль. Она, кстати, не единственная, которая свела 2 команды премьер-лиги в одну пару. Как хорошо владеет мячом Тоттенхэм. Переводить решает, наконец, на Уокера Питерса Сон. Дели Алли. Выдвигаются поочередно игроки второго эшелона обороны Транмера на владеющего мячом. И вот здесь здорово ускользает в итоге от Джея Харриса Лукас Моура. Уокер Питерс, Дели Алли. Давинсон Санчес и Оливер Скип. Да, он играет в центре поля, пока восстанавливается после операции на аппендиците Эрик Дайер. Пока отдыхает Харри Уинкс. Играет Оливер Скип в центре поля. Но не только Эрик Дайер из полузащитников сейчас недоступен, еще и Муса Дембеле приступил к занятиям в общей группе. Буквально-таки сегодня примерно та же степень восстановления у Яна Фертонгена и Эрика Ламела, но они пока не готовы играть. Ошибается Норвуд. Хотел скинуть мяч на ближайшего из партнеров головой, но получился пас на выход в очередную атаку для Тоттенхэма. Заброс к линии штрафной на Льоренте. Тот в касание на Сона. И за этот отскок еще Льоренте поборется, но можно играть пока.
Какая контратака! Опасный момент! Удар! Гол!
Испытай больше.
Oh, yeah. В инициативе. Шестикратное, почти уже шестикратное преимущество в количестве передач, сделанных за стартовый отрезок матча. 9-е место в Лиге 2, 4-м английском дивизионе у Транмера, который, напомню, только квалифицировался, только вернулся вот в ряды профессиональной футбольной лиги Англии. Не без геройства это, кстати, произошло. 2 сезона подряд команда занимала 2-е место, но первый раз потерпела неудачу в плей-офф, а в прошлом сезоне сумела выиграть решающий матч на Уэмбли, при том, что удаление случилось в самом начале финального матча против команды Борэхэм Вуд. Но, тем не менее, 1-0 сумела команда победить. Люк Маккалов нарушает правила. Этот игрок арендован у представителя 3-го дивизиона Донкастер Роверс. И совсем незадолго до встречи с Тоттенхэмом аренду Маккалофа подтвердили до конца сезона. Очень важный игрок середины поля. Он сейчас нарушил правила. И Бен Дэвис будет подавать с левой ноги. На дальнюю штангу в борьбе со Стивом Макналти с еще и истошным криком падает Льоренте, но не замечая всего этого, Бен Дэвис, подскочившему обратно мячу. Да, замок там, конечно, Макналти не просто схватил, можно сказать, провернул ее там в своей руке. Ну и Льоренте посчитал нужным упасть. Но Макналти в итоге выбил мяч, а Бен Дэвис проверил готовность Скотта Дэвиса. Пауло Гасанига. Да, вот у него сегодня, конечно, миссия совсем незавидная. Стоять, смотреть футбол и всегда быть наготове. Всегда быть, играть очень уверенно и терпеливо. Давинсон Санчес, Сон Хэн Мин и Дели Алли. Вот всего лишь 3 футболиста, которые сохранились из стартового состава матча против Кардиффа. 3-0 в нем Тоттенхэм выиграл, прям скажем так, на энергосбережение сыграв, забив за 25 минут 3 гола. Ну а дальше такой был уже спокойный очень, несвойственный Тоттенхэму футбол. И выход, кстати говоря, Оливера Скипа и Фернандо Льоренте на замену. Но сегодня эти 2 футболиста в стартовом составе. С Льоренте сейчас боролся в воздухе Марк Эллис. Ну а нам повторяют, как Стив Макналти. Между прочим, воспитанник Ливерпуля вот так разбирался с Льоренте. Все прекрасно видите, но все эти усилия Стива Макналти не были никак замечены арбитром, хотя, конечно, это нарушение правил. Кто бы с этим спорил, но не видел, просто не смотрел даже в ту сторону, где эта парочка располагалась на дальней штанге Андре Марина. Серж Орье. Этот защитник Стив Макналти действительно воспитывался в рядах Ливерпуля. Ну, по сути дела, местный житель. Затем отправился в долгие карьерные странствия. Был, кстати, в одной команде Флитвуд с Джейми Варди. И там же, кстати, в то время был тренером нынешний наставник Транмера Микки Меллон. Ну, о его достижениях как наставника еще смогу вам рассказать. Макналти снова не очень уверенно, прямо скажем, под давлением соперника он действует. А здесь создавали положение вне игры центральные защитники. Сегодня это Давинсон Санчес и Бен Дэвис. Едва не попались. Гилмор. Второй номер Гилмор угодил в офсайд. Правил действовал против Гилмора. Передача Маккалофа. И Кайл Уокер-Питерс выбивает мяч. Но тут же еще и звучит свисток. Положение вне игры. Кое-где все-таки просматриваются свободные места. Хотя было заранее объявлено, что все билеты проданы. И сегодня такое маленькое объявление только было на ресурсах Tranmere Rovers, что ограниченная партия билетов, не называлось количество, все-таки доступна в продажу. Может быть, это какая-то гостевая квота была опущена для своих болельщиков. Но мы видим, что кое-где все-таки свободные места есть. Атлет какие-то специально не заполненные места на трибунах. Большие проплешины имеются, причем такие, как будто коллективные неявки на трибуны. В Биркенхеде, напомню, проходит этот матч на стадионе Прентон Парк, где исторически играет Tranmere Rovers. Дели Алли. Ну вот он как-то инертнее других пока смотрится в центре поля. Мяч потерял. Сейчас сопровождает вот это единство Уокера Питерса и Кэ Прайса. Ну и сам полузащитник Транмера выпускает мяч за пределы поля. Маурисио Почеттино. Да, 2 сезона подряд Тоттенхэм при нем доходил до полуфинала. Сначала проиграл Челси. Весной 2017-го. Ну а в полуфинале прошлого розыгрыша был обыгран Манчестер Юнайтед. Причем 1-0 Тоттенхэм повел, но все-таки победить не сумел. Райт Холф, играющий на левой бровке. Выбил сейчас мяч в аут. Но Тоттенхэм не готов немедленно обострять. Переводит теперь уже на левый фланг. Ну, на довольно спокойном темпе. Предполагает, видимо, все-таки обыгрывать Транмер Тоттенхэм. Не включаются действительно большие обороты. И те, и другие живут, конечно, в очень напряженном расписании. 4 матча за 15 дней провел Транмер, ну а у Тоттенхэма еще и в разных турнирах расписание еще более напряженное. Главное, что паузы все равно не будет даже после этого кубкового матча. Впереди 8 числа первый полуфинальный матч Кубка Лиги против Челси. Ну а затем матч чемпионата с Манчестер Юнайтед 13 января. Оливер Скип в центре поля ошибся. Здесь очень неплохо играет Норвуд. Да, вот он. Главный бомбардир. 16 забитых мячей у него в Лиге 2 на сегодняшний день. Там 26 туров сыграно. Джеймс Норвуд 16 забил. В прошлом сезоне тоже очень много голов в его активе было. И во многом благодаря ему. Совершенно удивительное преображение пережила команда. После 12 туров она шла в самом низу турнирной таблицы. Национальной лиги. Но потом преобразилась, и 2 длиннющих рывка победных было примерно по 10 туров в исполнении команды Микки Меллона. Вот он на ваших экранах. И сумел в итоге вывести Транмер через финал плей-офф Национальной лиги, который тоже, как и другие решающие матчи плей-офф, игрался традиционно на Уэмбли.
The form they've been in and the goals they've been scoring, you'd have thought they'd have been formalities, those 2 chances. But Mickey Mellon will be quite happy going back to his time theory. They've got through a quarter of the game without conceding. The manager, by the way, was the man who signed Jamie Vardy for Fleetwood, and they sold him for, in non-league terms, a small fortune. I think in the end, with add-ons, it came to about 1.7 million Leicester ended up paying. So it wasn't a bad bit of spotting and business. Gilmore. Skip got the block in. Comes out to Tranmere. The shot was blocked from Connor Jennings, who we know can volley the ball very effectively. Saw that in the last round. Nasty blow for Lucas Moura.
Yeah, as you've said, Ian, Connor Jennings, he loves a volley. We've seen that before. The keeper's out of his goal. You can hear it from here, shouting keepers. He decides to head it. Decent strike. Foyth with a block. Better from Tranmere.
That looked a pretty good hit, didn't it? Not too many spare seats. In fact, none. Try getting a ticket for this game around here. They were snapped up very quickly once Tranmere had won their replay against Southport. They've needed replays in both rounds against non-league teams so far. First Oxford City, and then Southport. Valiant efforts by both of those clubs. Here's McCulloch looking to pick the right ball. Norwood's got in behind here. Couldn't get the angle on his shot.
He has to pick out Jay Harris there. It's good build-up play. The ball in behind, as I've been saying, Tranmere should do. Just look at the run of Jay Harris in the middle there. Can he square it? Goes to that near post. Big opportunity.
Well, it fell to the right man as far as Tranmere were concerned. The difficult angle, and as you say, Harris looked to be in a rather healthier position. Harris quoted widely in the newspapers this morning, saying that Tranmere might have to be a bit horrible at times tonight. He wasn't pulling any punches with those quotes. Radash biting away. Tranmere just beginning to find a foothold in the game, you feel, in the last 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, you can see there, pressing the ball, gets the Tranmere crowd on their feet, applauding them for their effort. But you're going to have to do that for 90 minutes against this Spurs side. As soon as you drop off, as soon as somebody doesn't go and press, they'll pass round you and have an opportunity at goal.
Well, older Tranmere fans remember the day they went to Goodison and knocked out Everton by 3-0, then came from 3 down with a Paul Rideout hat-trick to beat Southampton 4-3 here in an amazing FA Cup run some 18 years ago. They haven't claimed a Premier League scalp since then. Liverpool, who ended up knocking them out that year in the quarter-finals. Pretty big occasion around here, that. Sanchez. Now Foyt. Classy young Argentinian, very composed on the ball. They like him a lot at Tottenham. There's Dele Alli. Tranmere organised and tigerish. They've only lost once here in League Two this season. Serge Aurier. Skip. Jennings quarrying possession almost for Tranmere.
Now this is the trouble. That's Noah with the centre forward. You've got to stay players in number 9.
Llorente thought he was fouled there by Manny Monte.
See, if you're going to help your team out, which Noah was done there, brilliant work, brilliant effort. But when you win the ball, they've got nobody to hit. So Spurs are going to press you, and that's what happened.
All Spurs early on, but the plot just thickening a little here. Goes Norwood. Jennings trying to run in behind. It's a kind of 3-5-1-1 Tranmere are playing here, which of course can change depending on which side it's got the ball. Caprice won the header. And well played by Ellis as well. It's having a good game for Tranmere. He's been busy and mobile, and he's got work to do here as well, because Moore is taking him on, and Ellis with a fantastic challenge.
He's the challenge that you've got to make in this cup tie. Ellis won the initial header of the pattern. His recovery run there, brilliant recovery run against Mora. 1-on-1, he's got great pace, great challenge there.
Corner kick to defend.
Oh, yeah.
Davis to play it in, and Llorente with a half-decent volley.
Great strike from Llorente, wasn't it? Just peeled off right from by the penalty spot, goes to that far corner. Very unfortunate.
All his 3 FA Cup goals came in one game, replay against Rochdale last season at Wembley. Harry Kane, I think Tottenham will hope they won't have to use him tonight, but I don't know, he seems to play some part in every game, doesn't he? Spurs have got Chelsea coming up in the Carabao Cup semi-final first leg in midweek, and then they've got Manchester United next weekend. Llorente. Aurier to lay it back. Dele Alli tried to just nick that away from Harris. Llorente's got it here. Newly picked up Lucas Moura, but McNulty was there. Here's Walker-Peters. Foyt from a long way out. He did get his first Premier League goal for Tottenham, a winner at Crystal Palace recently.
Yeah, that opportunity from Foyt comes from Tranmere giving the ball away, trying to play out. You know, decent strike, comfortable save for Davis. And I don't understand it. You know, Spurs are going to press you. Just get the ball, and I know it's not nice to watch, but clip it into an area where you can get up the park, win second balls, make it a fight. You know, trying to play out from those areas. Seeing Ridehouse on the far side get caught from the Son opportunity there. McCulloch giving the ball away. Foyt has a shot.
Well, it's quite interesting. Remember, Spurs were 3 up after 23 minutes the other day at Cardiff. So, testament really to how hard and organised Tranmere have made it, that it's goalless here, thanks largely to a couple of big saves from the goalkeeper. Skip was played into trouble, but won it anyway, the teenager. Dele Alli. Surface is okay, but it won't be quite what Spurs are used to. Not that Wembley's been in amazing condition the last few months. He's getting used to this kind of thing in these games. Mauricio Pochettino. You can just sense a little buzz among this Tranmere crowd, can't you? Who are, I think, intrigued to see how their team, newly re-entered into the Football League, will cope with the side lying third in the Premier League. Jennings. Corner kick.
That was important, your first corner kick. Ridehouse puts a good delivery. It's going to be an outswinger. Centre halves, Ellis. We've seen him win a few headers this evening already. Monte going forward. Just make sure it's good delivery.
Here's Ridehouse with the corner kick for Tranmere. Ellis have made a run to the near post. Promising run. It's another corner kick.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the corner, and Monte with the header. Comfortable enough for Gazzaniga, but almost free header for the defender.
He's yet to generate all the power himself. Already slipped. Would have been a great header to beat the goalkeeper from there.
Walker-Peters. Son wanted a free kick. Referee wasn't going to give it. Andre Mariner, he was only about a yard away too. Hasn't refereed a game here for 15 years. Andre Mariner. Caprice trying to use his speed to get on the end of that. Composed play from Tottenham. Tottenham Hotspur, the 8 times FA Cup winners, but not since Gary Lineker was in the team back in 1991, the year they beat Nottingham Forest in the final. That was Terry Venables against Brian Clough. Yep, not long ago. Heung-min Son. Mora trying to spin in behind, but Monte was doing some good work, not letting him do that. Skip. Llorente. Now Son. We know he can produce something a bit special. And it might take that to break Tranmere down the way they're defending just at the moment. But that's right out with a bad header. Monte to the rescue.
As well there, Monte. See the mistake. Eyes on the ball. Good header.
Oh,
Goal kick in the end. Well, to say they're up for the occasion would be a bit of an understatement here. Last year they went out beaten 5-0 at home by Peterborough United. Different story this season. 2018 was a big year for Tranmere, and this isn't a bad start at Brenton Park for 2019 for them. Voigt won the header. There's Lucas Mora. Determined run from the Brazilian. Just a little gentle warm-up, no more than that at the moment for Harry Kane. It is a cold night up here, and I'm sure where you are as well.
Got Nolte against Llorente again. Could have had a penalty, had a shot volley just over the bar.
Now here's another moment of danger for the League Two side. It's not a great corner, that. Clearance wasn't the best either. But Ellis, who's been a star back there, was the man who got it away. Jennings couldn't quite nick it away. Dele Alli.
Not really been in the game so far. Dele Alli, not a terrific season. Those runs he makes, you know, from deep in the Premier League, scoring goals. Having a magnificent season, but it's been on the fringes tonight. Not having an impact in the game that I'm sure his manager would like.
And wearing the armband as well. Sign of his growing maturity. Here is the skipper. Walker-Peters down the line. Heung-min Son will be leaving Tottenham to play in the Asia Cup soon after the Manchester United match. They're going to miss him. Walker-Peters, Spurs looking for this breakthrough before half-time. Little flick, Walker-Peters trying to find an angle for the shot. Jay Harris scrambles it away. Norwood needs to hold this one up. Hasn't managed to do it, and Aurier scores from long range. 25-yarder from Serge Aurier out of nowhere gives Tottenham the lead.
You said it, got to hold the ball up. It's not a great clearance, but Norwood reacts first. Then Aurier, just watch this strike outside of his right foot. The goalkeeper rooted to the spot, watches it fly on corner. It's on the outside of his right foot. What a goal from Aurier. But you're right, centre forward's got to hold the ball. Voigt does well to nick it. Then Aurier on the outside of his right foot. 1-0 Spurs.
That's his first goal since last March. The Ivorian. There was absolutely nothing Scott Davis could do about that with the shape and swerve on the shot. Just sat there and said, hit me, didn't it? When that ball dropped for the defender.
Norwood initially done well. He got in front of his centre half. You know, there he's just got to do better, try and get a foul. A wonderful strike from Aurier just before half time. Did it take a little deflection?
They'll kick themselves, I think, Tranmere, the manner that the goal was given about after so much hard work from them. A goal from an unlikely source, but Tottenham will take it. Llorente with a nice flick. Dele Alli nearly picking a hole in the defence again. Throw to Tottenham. Young-min Son's got a little knock on the foot, nothing much by the look of it. Exactly what Tottenham were looking for, to nose in front just before the break. And Tranmere, who saw that, I think, as a big staging post tonight to get to the break with the scores level, have another think about it. They haven't managed to do that, and Mickey Mellon will know what a big moment this is.
This is the strike from Aurier. Does it take a slight deflection there? It does, off Monte, which made the ball swerve even more into that far corner.
Yeah, just a little flick, wasn't it? But I think that's very much Serge Aurier's goal. Son turning and twisting. This time Norwood does better work in holding it up. But Spurs have been good, really, when they haven't had the ball, in getting it back quickly. And Skip's been quite important in that, scurrying around in the midfield. His seventh appearance already this season, the youngster, getting his chance with injuries to a lot of established midfield players like Dembele and Wanyama. Dyer, of course, working his way back after an appendix operation. Lucas Moura. Monte's challenge is just a bit too wild for Andre Mariner's liking.
It's too aggressive there from Monte. It is a foul.
Young-min Son. Kyle Walker-Peters. Vital for Tranmere now that they do not concede again before the break. Otherwise, Tottenham will feel they already have one boot, maybe more, in the fourth round. Too long from Son on that occasion. Seconds before the goal, just looking back on the tape, this happened. Let's check this out.
It's a moving ball, isn't it, from the corner? 18 seconds later, as you say, and Aurier does that.
I mean, how far back do you go in tracing things? I mean, when the VAR comes in, week out in the Premier League next year, I mean, what do they do if they discover that? Is Norwood. It's better from him. Ridehouse. Norwood again. Be desperate to make amends for his little error in the build-up to that Tottenham goal.
You see in the last corner for Tranmere that Monte had an opportunity against Aurier. You know, I'd like to see an in-swinger. You know, the out-swinger. He's a good boy. You can't get a free header like Monte did, and he's against Aurier again.
Ridehouse again with another out-swinger. Skip didn't really make any contact. Davis's ball. Steve McNulty getting it away. McCulloch battling away. Free kick Tottenham. Taken quickly by Dele Alli, but the referee says this time, that's interesting, he pulls it back because the ball was moving. Reference to the incident with the corner leading up to the goal. That is half-time. Rochdale did look on course to prevent Spurs from scoring, but Serge Aurier had other ideas when that ball dropped to him. His bending shot with the minutest of deflections off Monte, giving Tottenham a 1-0 lead at half-time. There'll be lots for Harry Redknapp and Steve McManaman to talk about with Jake Humphrey when we rejoin you. Half-time score here, though, at Printon Park. Tranmere Rovers 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1.
Oh, yeah.
There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you in seasons, but all I hear is your voice. I know my limits. limits, you can break me down, but I'll stay till the finish line. And I've been counting minutes for quite some time now, just to see you again. And I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been finding ways to get away, to see you again, see you again. We got millions of reasons to let it all go. Hope we're not too broken. I know I'm not always strong, and I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been finding ways to get away, to see you again, see you again. To see you again.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind crying out its prayer. Why are we so ashamed to be alive? Break the chains and our freedom's ours to take. Look behind your back. Chase a light when the world is getting darker. I have a dream where love's the only side. So take my hand, join the army of the shadows. Going harder, we are more than numbers. Standing in this hate. Going louder, we are all one color. Standing in their way.
lesser fight. My body aches to be satisfied. My weakness comes and goes. My weakness comes and goes. I'm reaching out for the easy high. Please fortify this strength of mine. My weakness comes and goes. My weakness comes and goes. My body aches to be satisfied. My weakness comes and goes. My weakness comes and goes. I'm reaching out for the easy high. Please fortify this strength of mine. My weakness comes and goes. My weakness comes and goes.
Oh, yeah.
Comes and goes, it goes, it goes. My weakness echoes in my soul. Oh, it echoes in my soul. My weakness comes and goes, it goes, it goes.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen you. I've patrolled these empty thoughts before, but I'm fixed now on the cure. I'm holding on to the last rock on the mountaintop, and I'm begging for your love. Do you remember the type of folk we used to be and the simple souls we used to see? Do you remember a fallen man with no escape? It seems he lives in yesterday. If you played away, well, I forgive you once again. I'm losing patience, and I know for sure that we've been right here before. I see the dangers, baby, I'm not crying over you. There's no point in denying we're through, 'cause baby, I'm not crying over you. There's just shit that I've gotta do, so I'm not crying. Just sleeps away and I'm eager for his break. And I'm quite sure, like a human chess piece I've been playing, you're coming back for more. Do you remember? type of folk we used to be and the simple souls we used to see. Do you remember a fallen man with no escape? It seems he lives in yesterday. If you play the way, well, I'll forgive you once again. I'm losing patience, and I know for sure that we've been right here before. I see the dangers, baby. I'm not crying over you. There's no point in lying we're through, 'cause baby, I'm not crying over you. There's just shit that I've gotta do, so I'm not crying.
Stretched out those long legs, the defender from Cameroon. Very unconventional by Foyt. Worm's eye view, but it worked. Next one for those quiz questions, isn't it, on tape?
There you've got to overhit the ball. We've seen it. Roundhouse hits the feet of Foyt. You know, there, Gilmore clips it into Sanchez. Overhit the ball.
Lucas Moore is a lovely touch by Aurier. Son's in behind here. Cuts it back, and Llorente makes it too. Clinical from Tottenham. Ruthless from Tottenham. And surely now on their way into round 4.
Brilliant flick from Aurier there. Son, Monte's got to, go with more conviction there, but the pullback from Son is brilliant. The form he's in, another assist. Looks up, sees Llorente. His left foot. Comfortable finish. 2-0 Spurs.
Only a second goal of the season for the Spaniard, who's been classy tonight, leading the line. And that one was very much on a plate. Beautifully set up by Heung-min Son. The mountain just got a bit steeper for Tranmere.
Opportunity now to put the ball in the box. Looks like it's going to be an outswinger again from Ridehouse. Oh, surely put one into the air, in swing on your right foot. Will it be Gilmore? Don't think it's going to be.
Oh yeah!
A dispiriting start to the second half of the League Two side as Ridehouse curls another one in. Aurier with some good defending. As the boys were saying at half-time, the last thing Spurs want with their schedule is a replay. That happened to them a couple of times last season. Tottenham having to defend again as Monte was looking for a flick on. If Tranmere do get one, you'll hear the cheers in Liverpool city centre, the other side of the Mersey. But they've found it hard to carve out that much, truthfully, so far. Monte with the good flick on. Norwood was there! And over the bar by Harvey Gilmore. What a chance!
I think it's come off Aurier there. Didn't know much about it. Just watch Aurier. I think he got a block on it. Just see, yeah. Comes off Aurier. Is he going for that top corner? It certainly is.
Didn't know much about it, Aurier, but got his body in the way, and that was decisive. To be fair to Gilmore, his effort was on target. Ridehouse to curl one. Poor header by Skip. Lucas Moore under pressure from Norwood. Another corner for Tranmere. This is a pretty good response. Caprice. Here's Mark Ellis.
Another poor corner.
Gear, aren't they, Tranmere?
Yes.
Sorry.
It's another poor corner from Ridehouse here. Outswing again, headed away.
Caprice. It's good work by Carl Walker-Peters.
The last throw from that side, Ellis throws into the box to get a flick on Gilmore's opportunity. What do? You throw it short. Now put the ball in the box, throw it in the box. That's where you're going to create opportunities.
Certainly very, very tall as well. Monte, favourite it would be for any header if the delivery is right. He's going for that again, but it's well claimed by Gazzaniga, the goalkeeper whose last FA Cup match was for Gillingham in 2011. Oh, Lucas Moore is in here. Goes down. What's the referee going to give there? No penalty. That's his decision. Big call.
Magnificent play from Gazzaniga. What a kick it was. Seymour. The goalkeeper, he wins the ball, actually. Watch his right foot. There. It's a great tackle. It's a great tackle for the goalkeeper.
The referee's got that spot on, hasn't he? Perfect work. Scott Davis again. He's been a Tranmere hero. Damage would be worse, but for him. Lucas Moore is down injured, and Tottenham need everybody available they can muster with the big games they've got just around the corner.
Great skill, wasn't it, from Lucas Moura? Just see the way he received the ball, goes past McNulty.
$12,553 is the official attendance. They did reduce the capacity tonight. This ground can hold around 16,000. Looks like Lucas Moura is going to be okay.
Done well, the goalkeeper tonight for Tranmere.
He's had a really good game, hasn't he, for them, and they've needed him to. Been with the club for 3.5 years now. But this is professional so far from Spurs. Point to lay it back again. I think that Mauricio Pochettino has drilled home the point that unless they work very, very hard, accidents can happen. Oh, lovely turn from Son. Aurier, is he going to get another one? Yes, he is. They can't keep it out, and Spurs go 3 up. Suddenly, he loves Birkenhead.
It's the initial run from Son, isn't it? From a wide position in between the full-back and the centre-half. See there? Great control there. The Cruyff turn on the half volley. Weight of pass, perfect. You know, Davis gets a touch on it. Ellis despairingly tries to keep it out of the net. Decent strike. Goes down as Aurier's goal, no question about it. You see, just goes through Ellis's legs on the line, but brilliant skill from Son to set up that goal for Aurier, his second of the evening.
Well, that certainly wasn't in anybody's script as well. He'd only scored a couple of Spurs goals in his Tottenham career before tonight. He's doubled his money. McCulloch. Tranmere might think of a change in a moment. Any hopes they had of fighting their way back into this after the half-time team talk, blown away really. Heung-min Son against the slightly tired Tranmere now. He wants one as well to continue his run. He's got one too. Non-existent dissolving defence there from Tranmere, and Heung-min Son said thank you very much. Turning into a rout.
Just see where Son picked up the ball inside his own half. He's allowed to run the length of Tranmere's half. Too easy, gets past Ellis there, but you've got to say it's a great finish on his left foot across Davis. A player in fine form. Brilliant season so far. Great finish from Son. 4-0. Tottenham Hotspur.
And they're making a habit of rattling in big scores. Tranmere have made a substitution while you were looking at that again. Ollie Banks has come on into the midfield to replace Jay Harris-Banks, who's only just fit again after missing several games following a hernia operation. Well, it's that scoreline again. The last 3 times these two clubs have met, it's ended 4-0 to Spurs. The problem for Tranmere is it might end up more than that. Now, Harry Redknapp was making the point at half-time. The last thing Tranmere will want as they look to build on their promising position in League Two is a morale-sapping drubbing.
A big moment, wasn't it? The block from Aurier could have gone 2-1. You know, Gilmore could have scored, and then moments later, Aurier puts the ball into the Tranmere net to make it 3-0. Son gets the 4th.
And wherever the giant killings are going to be in round 3, if there are any this weekend, it won't be here at Prenton Park. I think we know that. Banks won the header, picked up by Gilmore. Ridehouse. It's a good mean ball, and they had an opportunity again there. And Banks joining in, good effort.
It was Gilmore, wasn't it, who was in on goal? Just it was a poor touch. Good ball from Ridehouse. Just couldn't take it into his stride.
Flick to lay it forward, not accurately on this occasion. Gilmore to lay it inside. Luke McCulloch. Good little flick by Harvey Gilmore. This is better from Tranmere. And a foul by Foyt gives Tranmere the free kick.
Nice little pattern of play there from Tranmere. A few triangles, foul from Foyt on Jennings. Looks like it's going to be a left footer once again. Got to say, delivery's been poor tonight from Ridehouse.
Again, easily cut out this time by Aurier. Lovely little cushion flick, wasn't that? From Son. Lucas Moura. Spurs, I think the stories are legendary about the tough training sessions. Are ferociously fit. Sometimes that can make a bit of a difference too.
Well, Jake was saying at half-time, is it their 11th game in 33 days?
Aurier for a now rampant Spurs. Dele Alli. Damage limitation really for Tranmere now. It's a lovely fixture to pull out of the hat, but the reality of it just crowding in at the moment.
Yeah, but Tranmere, it's on TV, 12,500 fans here tonight, Ian. Great turnout. It's the quality of Spurs.
Lovely ball from Jennings. He's got Caprice in behind here. He's got a bit of speed as well. Had to go alone. Nobody could get up with him.
Lovely flick from Conor Jennings there. Good awareness. Foyt playing Caprice onside. Good recovery runs though, wasn't it, from Foyt and Ben Davis. Made Caprice take the shot earlier than he would have liked. Goes across the goalkeeper.
Just a little moment for Tranmere there. Right, Ash with the long ball in behind. It's a good one too. Gilmore. Norwood's waiting in the middle. Jennings now. Banks. Skip was the player in the way. You'll see he's a real defensive midfield player, can't you?
Yes, it's okay tonight, Skip. But that ball from Tranmere, the ball in behind. It gets Tranmere up the park. Far too often this evening they've hit the first man, they haven't hit the ball long enough.
Son, beautiful from Llorente. Little cushion layoff. Dele Alli, Lucas Moura. Tottenham playing with a bit of a swagger now. Skip wanted too much time though. Norwood's nicked it away from him. He's run Davinson Sanchez, who pushed him. It was actually a pretty good piece of defending. He just about got away with that and got Norwood off balance.
Initially good pace from Norwood though, but you've got to say Sanchez, good recovery run. Got back. There was an initial push, as you said, Ian. Norwood stayed on his feet though, but then he had no support.
And Oliver Skip in midfield. They're just finding out that things happen a little bit more quickly up at senior level. I think we see that quite often in that Checker Trade Trophy where the under-21 sides play lower league teams. They don't win that many of them. And Spurs here are going to give a debut to one of their youngsters in just a moment here. What a great moment for him. George Marsh, defensive player or defensive midfield player. He's 20. An unused substitute against West Ham in the League Cup earlier in the season. And they've the luxury now of resting Heung-min Son, who's come up with yet another goal tonight.
Yeah, wonderful goal as well. Run from inside his own half. With his left foot, puts it past Davis. Yeah. And what a season Son is having for Spurs.
We really are going to miss him. He could miss 5 games or so, but you can only wish well to George Marsh. Also on the bench is Tim Aoma, young defender, aged 18. Banks for Tranmere, who live in hope that they might have one big moment at least to give to their fans in the shape of a goal. But here's Dele Alli. Good ball. Lucas Moura wants a bit of help. It's arriving in the shape of Dele Alli. And Stinny's got it. How about that? Little cameos everywhere. All the Tranmere defence have given it straight to Lucas Moura. Walker-Peters. There's good covering from Tranmere in the end. It's Caprice. matches with the header. Banks has done pretty well since he's come on, the tall figure in the Tranmere midfield. It's given them a little more of a presence in there. Glad to have him back fit again. And the word we get from Tranmere, just having a word with a few people at the club, is that there are likely to be some new arrivals just to bolster the experience in the squad over the next week or so. Mark Palios, the former FA chief executive, is the chairman here. Runs the club with his wife very efficiently. They keep to budget, they're sensible about it. And Tranmere are on an upward path despite the scoreline here. Aurier. Monte was saying you get no further than that.
Yeah, Llorente's goal just at the half-time, you know, that's what Monte should have done in the challenge with Son. It was half-hearted. You know, needs to be more aggressive in the tackle against Son. That led to Llorente's goal, Spurs' second.
Davis, too long for Llorente. I'm just thinking, Serge Aurier's on a hat-trick here. I never thought I'd utter those words. There is Mark Palios. Former player himself. Knows the game very well, and I think will have had no illusions or delusions about the size of the task tonight. For Tottenham, who are keeping up a ferocious work rate in the game. Dele Alli. And 22 minutes remaining, and that might be a pretty long 22 minutes for Tranmere. One of their players was saying this week, Robbie, we're going to have to concentrate so hard our heads will hurt at the end of it. And I think that's just about the way of it.
You know, that ball from Skip Moores before to Dele Alli, that ball there, it's a fantastic ball in between the lines.
Lucas Moura.
That's come from that ball from Skip. Any young midfielder watching this, the way he receives the ball, then his first look is forward. You know, as a young midfielder, your last option should be the fullback. There he looks forward.
Norwood's done well there. Couldn't find the right ball there. Ben Davis was there for Tottenham. Tottenham, who rattled in 15 goals in their 4 Christmas New Year matches. Conceded only 3. They've taken that on to 19. Of course, the FA Cup comes pretty hard on the heels of that busy festive programme. I just wonder whether that might have had a little effect too here on Tranmere Rovers, who would have been busy themselves in League 2. Played as recently as New Year's Day in a draw with Sol Campbell's Macclesfield. Former Tottenham player, of course. Though I think probably fair to say not a fan's favourite these days. Llorente in behind, Blackstay down, he scored a second, beautifully taken by Llorente. He's had a very good game here tonight, 2 goals, and Tottenham stroll into a 5-goal lead.
Moores before was saying about Skip receiving the ball in the half turn and looking forward. It's a great pass. Just watch this. There's Skip just in the centre of your park there. That's a beautiful ball from Skip. Good touch from Llorente. Past the goalkeeper. Cool finish. 2 for Llorente, 5 for Spurs, but wonderful pass for the midfield player.
Very neat feet from Llorente, who doesn't get too much of a look in at Tottenham Hotspur with the quality of the players ahead of him. He's delivered a sharp performance here tonight. is Lucas Moura. This is getting mighty tough for Rochdale, and Llorente's got a hat-trick now! 6! How many is this going to be at the end of the night? It is raining goals here at Prenton Park.
Just see here, it was Ellis who slipped Moura. 1-on-1 against McNulty. Look at the movement from Llorente there. It's far too easy to be fair to get into that space. Decent ball across. Toe poke from Llorente past Davis. Keeper could do better there, I think, Davis.
Yeah, hat-trick in the FA Cup for him last year, another one this year. Fernando Llorente, and no mercy from Tottenham. They're getting Harry Kane ready now. So Tranmere's next job is to try to cope with the World Cup Golden Boot winner. They do have a free kick here, though. Oh, this is a tough one for Mickey Mellon and his team to take. They wouldn't have expected to go through tonight, but they will not enjoy the way their team has been almost ripped limb from limb in the second half.
There's difference in quality. They've worked exceptionally hard. Mickey Mellon's side, you know, Jennings there wins the free kick. He's worked hard for Tranmere, as has Norwood, but they've just been outclassed. No question about it. But can they get a goal in for these Tranmere fans?
Gazaniga will want his clean sheet. Make no mistake about that. It's Norwood to hit it, but only into the wall. And Llorente, who can do no wrong at the moment. Dele Alli hops it on. They're going through their party pieces. Tottenham here now. Dele Alli, that could have been 7.
Brilliant from Llorente, wasn't it? Then Dele Alli. He's got it, the target there, Dele Alli.
Well, this is almost cruel, isn't it, by Maurizio Pochettino, bringing on Harry Kane with his team 6-0 up. Llorente will go off to a standing ovation from the visiting Spurs fans, and he took them beautifully, didn't he?
Certainly did. You know, you could say the keeper could do better there, though Davis has played well for Tranmere tonight. But here comes Harry Kane, World Cup Golden Boot winner. Great for the, you know, all the Prenton Park crowd to see Harry Kane. You're 6-0 down. You see the England captain coming on.
He looks a bit cheesed off, doesn't he, that fella? How many do they want, he's saying? I think the bloke next to him was praying.
Might be Harry Kane. Listen, he wants to score goals. He might be saying to the manager, get me on there.
You've got to feel sorry for Tranmere, really, here on this big night for the club. It's become mildly embarrassing. This time Norwood is offside, but you've got to remember that most of these players were playing in the National League outside the Football League last season, making a good fist of things in their first season back in the Football League, but this is another level again.
But it's a sign of a good team, ruthless. You know, they get 2, they get 3. You know, they're going to try and score as many goals as they can. They've got 6, they'll want 8, they'll want 9, they'll want 10, Ian. Good teams are ruthless. You know, go and score as many goals as you can, and this is what the Spurs side are doing.
Seems to love Merseyside. Just before Christmas, they went and hit 6 at Goodison Park. Here's Kane's first involvement. He'll want to get it on the act. Make no mistake about that. 6 at Goodison Park. Here's Kane's first involvement. He'll want to get it on the act. Make no mistake. Lucas Moura picked out. Skip. Gilmore's ball towards. Good challenge by McCulloch, getting it away from Dele Alli. They're playing for their pride a bit here now, Tranmere. Norwood's on the chase. Davinson Sanchez. Norwood can pick it up again. Jennings was waiting in the middle. Dele Alli's been running the game. Second half, now he's found Kane. Nipped away from skip for a Tranmere team, and I'm sure their manager would, well, rather like the final whistle to come quite quickly. He's got to pick them up for the next game, which is a trip to Cheltenham. Walker-Peters finds Dele Alli, who's seeing an awful lot of the ball, and I think enjoying wearing that Tottenham Hotspur armband, isn't he? Tottenham are going to give another debut as well here to Timothy Ioma. Perfect position, really, to come on and make your debut. No pressure at all. 6 still up. Don't forget the FA Cup action continues tomorrow on BT Sport when we go to Old Trafford to catch in-form Manchester United at home to Reading. That's at midday on BT Sport 2 HD. It's available in 4K UHD as well, by the way. And a bit later on we'll have Blackpool, the 1953 winners, the Matthews final and all that. They're at home to Arsenal tomorrow at 5 o'clock on 2 HD for that one. And on Sunday, an intriguing tie down in Surrey as Woking, the lowest ranked survivors, still in the FA Cup. They play Premier League Watford. That's 1:30. And there is Ioma coming on, and he'll replace Davinson Sanchez. "18 years old, the young defender. And here he is. We'll be hoping it's the first of hundreds of appearances in his career. It's a massive moment after all the years of playing in the academy and working your way through and trotting out to play for the first team. Doesn't matter what the situation. Was in possession now. Did play 90 minutes against AC Milan in a pre-season in Minneapolis, USA. Played in the UEFA Youth League, that sort of thing. They've got a few of their youngsters out there now, haven't they? Skip on the ball now. Marsh, Ioma. Here is Marsh. Aurier. Well, Tottenham Hotspur fans get fed up with the talk about 11 years since a trophy, but there's no doubt they'd like to end that this year in one competition or another. Maybe this one. They've gone out at the semi-final stage the last 2 years against first Chelsea and then Manchester United, and Dele Alli gave them the lead that day and then it went wrong.
The big debate on Saturday tomorrow, it is finish fourth or win the FA Cup. You know, there's a poll running and it's split at the minute. It's a big debate.
10. What time is that on then?
11:30. Great day though with Manchester United Redners and BT Sports Score as well. Great day on BT tomorrow.
There you got your plug in, well done. that was very well worked, I thought. Here's Dele Alli. Tottenham doing everything they want. Kane might get one here. He has too. What a brilliant finish, really. He just let that run across his body, flicked it with his right foot, and then celebrates with the fans. And Tottenham Hotspur here are just running riot.
You said it. Brilliant finish. Composure.
Yeah.
You know, it's brilliant from Dele Alli. What a pass. But there, just the way he let it run across himself. He could have hit it with his left foot. Just watch this now. Can hit it there? No. Flicks it with his right foot. Great call from you, Ian. Just flicks it over the onrushing Davis. Wonderful finish from the England captain. But what a ball from Dele Alli.
Well, there is the unpalatable scoreline for poor old Tranmere Rovers here. Just to think, for 40 minutes, it was goalless. All those 7 goals have come since the 40th minute. Banks tries his luck. Voigt got in the way of it. Play on, says the referee. Ollie Banks again here. Good idea. And Norwich couldn't quite reach it. I think he'd love to have stopped the game at some point in the second half and given a team talk to his players. Again, just for a little bit of a reset. That wasn't possible. To be fair to the Tranmere fans, not too many of them have left. I think, to be honest with you, they're rather enjoying some of the football Tottenham have turned on in the second half. Again, the ever-willing Norwood chasing that one, but it's a lone battle, really, a lot of the night. He's already had a start in the Premier League, Skip, against Burnley. That was the day that Tottenham won it with a late goal from Christian Eriksen. He's another one who's on the bench tonight. It was letting in 3 in the last 20 minutes at home to Wolves. That was a surprising result, even given the quality of Wolves this season.
I watched that game on BT Sport Scoring, and I've got to say, Wolves in that second half were magnificent.
Yep, well-deserved win for them, no question. Going great guns in their first season back in the big time, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Davis. Lucas Moura. Harry Kane. Skips past Monte. And look at the determination of Kane, even with his team 7-0 up. There's been absolutely no question of Tottenham turning down the gas or anything like that and just strolling through this and taking a break. They've really decided they're just going to put Tranmere to the sword.
And the strength of Harry Kane, you know, holding off Monte and McNulty. Desire, strength. It's been a fantastic performance from Spurs tonight.
Kane's up to 19 for the season already. Is Ridehouse. Up by young Iona.
That's a great example, isn't it, for all the youngsters on the pitch of Spurs. When they see the England captain doing that, you know, you're 7-0 up against Tranmere, the captain's still willing to do that for his side.
Aurier, he wants the hat-trick. Not like that. He can afford a smile the way it's gone tonight for him.
Yeah, they worded it well, didn't they? Already his left foot there.
Difficult bounce for Norwood. Challenge brings a yellow card. Studs showing for it's Banks, isn't it?
Oof. Just watch this again, it's Banks. Referee decides to give a yellow card. Some referees might give a red there.
Yeah, Studs were showing, weren't they? So, refereeing decisions are a constant talking point, as they were, of course, last night. I think Tottenham here just giving a little reminder, even though they are playing a League Two side, of their quality and that they are still in this title race themselves. Kane, who can also orchestrate things from deep positions as well as score. George Marsh did well there for Tottenham, winning the ball back for his team. Kane with a flick. Lucas Moura. Walker-Peters now. They all want to get in on the act, don't they? They all want to get in on the party now. Walker-Peters' only Tottenham goal so far came in the FA Cup last year against Rochdale. Nasty one for Gilmore, who's gone down injured there. Nothing given though. It's come out to Aurier again. He's determined. I think if the ball came to him about 40 yards out, he'd have a shot. That's a nasty one for Harvey Gilmore, the youngster who had that pretty good chance for Tranmere.
Seen Aurier. Yeah, I think Gilmore's kicked the bottom of Aurier's studs there. His foot was quite high.
Yeah, his studs were showing as well. That wasn't too much different to the Banks one, was it? But the referee has taken an alternative view of it. Andre Mariner, who's already had an FA Cup final. That was the one where Wigan shocked Manchester City in the final. Was it Ben Watson with that late header? Of course, Wigan knocked Manchester City out last year as well, didn't they? And, just to show surprises and shocks still do happen. Remember Bradford winning at Chelsea a few seasons back.
Wrexham against Arsenal.
Thought you might get to that one.
Arsenal top. Wrexham 92nd. Mickey Thomas. Who scored the winner in that game? It's a quiz question. Everybody remembers Mickey Thomas's free kick. Steve Watkin.
Yeah. Well remembered.
Will we see a shock in the third round?
Well, Arsenal away to Blackpool with all the problems that club has at the moment, but they're in the top half in League One. So we'll be bringing you that game tomorrow tea time. Quite an interesting one. Here's Carl Walker-Peters again. Dele Alli, did he handle it there? No, said the referee, not deliberately anyway. Lucas Moura. Well, mercifully for Tranmere Rovers, we're now into stoppage time.
Instructions from our referee Atsushi Onari. We are set for 3 rounds, 1 Super Series kickboxing rules contest. In front of a sellout crowd inside the Singapore Indoor Stadium, where Giorgio Petrosian has more muscles than a seafood buffet. He is looking in the best shape we've seen him in a long time. This one brought to you by Global Citizen. Petrosian, the southpaw. High right roundhouse kick. That's the power weapon of Sorgrad.
This is when Sorgrad needs to jump on Petrosian. Petrosian hasn't figured out his rhythm yet, hasn't figured out his timing. This is Sorgrad's moment.
I think, Mitch, he might have just figured it out. That was a beautiful combination there. Sorgrad with the Prudgent armbands around his biceps. Part of the many traditions and superstitions surrounding the ancient martial art of Muay Thai, more than 3,000 years old.
Petrosian's throwing heat with those hands.
The little quarter turns, everything thrown with surgical precision. That's why they call him the doctor. And again, Petrosian, the hand, the step through knee. Just a delight to behold. And Sorgrad's got to start winding up that right roundhouse kick. Petrosian resets. The man who fled Armenia during its war-torn years, relocated to Italy, had to sleep on the streets with his father and his younger brother, living out of train stations, out of gutters, overcame abject poverty to today be arguably the greatest combat stylist in the world. Oh, beautiful right hand there from Petrosian, and that'll give Sorgrad a headache.
Petrosian's at it, like this is a different game. He's being much more aggressive. He's going first. He's not letting Sorgrad go. He's actually looking for the knockout in the very first round.
Petrosian, who lives in Milan, display of finesse, the Ferrari of kickboxing, Giorgio Petrosian. Began his pro career some 15 years ago. Two-time K1 Max champion, looking for win number 98 tonight. Uppercut to a left hand. Petrosian in control early. The chin is tucked, looking through the brow. You can see the right leg is cocked. Oh, Sorgrad! The big kibosh! Here comes Petrosian! Sorgrad rubber legs, he's right for the picking. Petrosian takes his time, finds his opening. And Sorgrad's still not composed. The butterflies are still around his eyes. Petrosian backs him up again. The doctor doing surgery. Lands the left hand, the power hand, and once more from Petrosian. Absolute ownership of Sorgrad. You can sign the pink slip right now.
Sorgrad seems pleased with himself that round. I'm not quite sure why, because that was a very aggressive start for Petrosian. He missed right there, but I think he was starting to figure out that timing. Came forward aggressively, and there was that big left hook. That's what caught Sorgrad, and then he just jumps all over it, finding some big shots, hunting after Sorgrad. He's going over the top, landing some big shots. Big miss right there from Sorgrad. Very impressive round for the doctor.
Petrosian said in his 3-month camp he studied as much video as he could find on Sorgrad. He said the only thing I've got to watch out for were his leg kicks, but he said I beat Sorgrad everywhere. Sorgrad had a 6-week camp. Very prodigious talent. Was born in Buriram, Thailand, about 400 kilometers northeast of Bangkok. Relocated from Buriram to Bangkok as a 15-year-old to further his Muay Thai career. Lumpini welterweight champion, 2-time world champion. And here he is in the biggest challenge of his life against the greatest, Giorgio Petrosian, who almost dropped him in the opening round. Good forearms guard against the roundhouse kick there. Petrosian, that left-hand cross, it is sublime. He leans back like Fat Joe. Tremendous evasion.
You said Petrosian was, the only thing he had to worry about was the leg kicks, but Sorgrad hasn't really thrown a lot of leg kicks. He hasn't attacked that inside lead leg. After he said that, he just goes after it.
It's one way to slow down an opponent's punching, an opponent's boxing, is to kick the legs.
The only thing he's thrown is he's thrown that rear leg round kick. Oh, he caught one right there.
Every time Sorgrad gets backed against the fence, Petrosian punishes him with speed and precision.
Sorgrad's throwing that right kick, but Petrosian's eating it on his arms, which would maybe slow down the hands.
Oh, the uppercut, the straight left cross. With timing like that, Giorgio Petrosian shouldn't be Italian, he should be Swiss. again with the lead right. Petrosian the overhand to the top of the noggin.
It's that right hook, Michael. That's the one. That's the one that's catching Sogro over and over again. And it's setting up that straight left hand.
Petrosian, left cross down the tube. Again as Sogro drifts back against the cage. Petrosian makes him pay for it. 1:33 remaining, second round of 3. First round all Petrosian, so too here in the second. Good forearms guard against the roundhouse kick. 2-punch combination, the evasion from the counter striking. Everything is flawless at the moment from Giorgio Petrosian. Uppercut again. The ripped, stripped and shredded arms, deltoids, biceps, triceps of Petrosian in tremendous physical shape. Again he lands the cross off the left. There's the jab. He's had more jabs than a pin cushion tonight, Giorgio Petrosian. What can Sogro do here, Mitch? How does he combat this?
I don't know. He has to find a way to slow down Petrosian because Petrosian is just marching forward. He has absolutely zero respect for Sogro's power.
Step through knee from Sogro, that won't do the trick. Petrosian drifts back to center cage, 2-punch combination. Again, it is a treat, it is a show, it is kickboxing 101 from Giorgio Petrosian.
Man, that could be the best 2-punch combo I've ever seen. That hook to straight left hand is precision.
You know, I spoke to Demetrius Johnson yesterday, and he said on the entire card tonight, the man he was most looking forward to watching live for the first time ever was Giorgio Petrosian. Both him and Eddie Alvarez singled out Petrosian as the man they most wanted to watch cage side tonight.
For this exact reason. And now the doctor, who's known for precision, is starting to hit with tremendous power. Let's look at some of the handiwork. Look at the way Petrosian picks these shots. There, he goes right down the middle, first with the straight left hand, and then he adds those hands behind it. I want to see the uppercut. Oh, just on cue. Beautiful timing on that. Boom. Caught him with a wonderful uppercut off the lead side, and then look at that. Evades the right hook, counters back. Just a clinic put on by the doctor.
Giorgio Petrosian makes it look so damn easy. Very calm, focused, relaxed. Petrosian hasn't put a glove, a foot, a knee out of place. His timing has been exquisite. His power has been superb. 3 minutes remaining in front of a sellout crowd here in Singapore. Can Sogro, within the academy, find something to upset the greatest?
Barely broken a sweat. Not breathing hard, seems completely relaxed. No different from the first round to the third.
That defense, the way he puts up that wall from his legs up to his forearm, protecting all that side of his body where the right roundhouse kicks are coming from Sogro. And there it is again, the total package here. Giorgio Petrosian comes forward. Beautiful jab. You see the jab and immediately takes his chin out of range for a possible counter. It's the minuteness, the little things of Petrosian, the little intricacies you've got to watch, you've got to applaud, you've got to absolutely love. And again, that left hand cross thrown as a lead. There's the old 3-2, the hook to the cross from Petrosian. 3-2 again. There's the hook from Petrosian once more. There's the cross. Petrosian drifts back to center cage. Sogro goes down to the legs. Maybe should have gone there a little more tonight. Another 2-punch combination. Petrosian locks him up, and referee O'Neill breaks them. Haven't seen Sogro move in for the grapple. Under these kickboxing rules, you are allowed to clinch for 3 seconds and throw as many knees as you like. Haven't seen Sogro, who's a Muay Thai champion, go that route.
Not just a regular Muay Thai champion, not just a regular Muay Thai world champion, a Lumpini world champion, and Petrosian is having his way with him.
Mitch, you couldn't have said it better. Petrosian is using him as a chew toy. just absolutely owning Sawgraw here. Is another beautiful display. And you can see why One Super Series has become the premier striking organisation on the planet. You saw Multai earlier tonight, you've seen Petrosian here, you saw Smoking Joe Nuttawa, we've got Godson Pai coming up again soon. All the great names in the world are with One Super Series, and you are seeing the greatest of all at it again. 45 seconds remaining. I wish we had another 25 minutes on this one to watch Giorgio Petrosian at work.
Yeah, but how tough is Sawgraw? He has taken Petrosian's best shots, which we have described as powerful, precision, possibly perfect, and really just taking his best shot, answered, still biting down on his mouthpiece, ready to throw down. Literally right there.
Mitch, as I glance around here, and it's a very silent crowd for this one, not because they've left to get a drink, because everyone's on the edge of their seats with their mouth ajar, beholding what Giorgio Petrosian is showing them. A very highly educated combat crowd here in Singapore are loving every second of this. This is like watching Da Vinci paint in front of you. It's incredible. That was another masterclass display. There is no doubt in your mind, I'm sure, as in ours, that Petrosian gets it. There's Victor Gui alongside Hento Gracie. The stars out in fourth. And I'll tell you what, they love themselves some Giorgio Petrosian.
Let's take a look at the hands of Petrosian. Look at that. Opens up with a lead right hook and comes right down the middle with the straight left hand. His money shot all night long has been that left hand. Just an absolute battering ram, a trip hammer, just coming right through the middle, connecting over and over again. Very impressive striking display.
We go down to the judges. Petrosian hardly raising a sweat. He looks to be in the best shape I've ever seen him. My word. Let's go to Dominic Lau.
To present the medal for this match, we have Katie Farhat, Senior Director of Arts. All three judges have scored this bout in favor of your winner by unanimous decision from the red corner, Giorgio Petrosian.
It is yet another win from Giorgio Petrosian, the greatest of all time. Just showed us all why. Flawless, untouched, unblemished, incredible. The winner's medal goes back to Italy, around the neck of Petrosian, and that's career victory number 98.
Every goal is for his dad, who passed away. Special moment for Anthony Knockout.
Setan! Malah poya-poya, bukan kerja, godain manusia.
Kita nggak perlu kerja lagi, bos. Manusia udah pada ngawur sendiri. Nih, Ustadz aja begini.
Kalau ketemu Jokowi kamu buka celananya itu. Tuan guru bajingan.
Terus lo pikir kerja kalian udah beres?
Lah, apalagi lo, bos?
Hasut orang-orang untuk ngebelain omongannya. Bikin mereka merasa memperjuangkan agama. Buruan! Bos, buruan! Hai Kunti, kita jalan-jalan yuk.
Thank you.
Swings that one in. Oh, and a fantastic save that time.